Come on, load,
We all had dinner together after the UFC fight, and Bert is just throwing back martinis.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I definitely made the right choice.
Yeah.
I definitely made the right choice. Like, I'm
can-
watching him. He's slowly turning into a human grape in front of my eyes. He's red in his face. And then I talked to him, and he goes, I got all my blood work done. Perfect.
I saw somebody comment the other day on our
Powerful bunch.
Yo, big up Roger Smith. I appreciate it, brother. Thank you for becoming a member. I appreciate it. Thank you for becoming a member. Appreciate you.
podcast. They go, the documentary about Bert's doctor who says blood work is perfect is going to be unbelievable.
It's a complete charlatan.
It's got to be, dude. It's got to be.
It's that time.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Bert's not going to take that well, is he? I don't think Bert's going to take that well because Bert really kind of like loves Rogan. And he also feels like he gets kind of railroaded and dunked on and piled on by his friends on pods. He's not going to take that too well. He's not going to take too well being mocked about his drinking like that, is he? He's not going to take it too well.
Time of year again when Tom Segura hits the JRE studios to kiss the ring and pay his dues to the King of Austin. And purely by coincidence, Tom's new show on Netflix just dropped, which they spent the first half an hour discussing, along with Tom's Hollywood aspirations. But I'll leave that for
Oh shit! By the way, that's what Bert looks like now, innit? That was a premiere for the show. God Almighty, bro! I just read that's what he looks like right now, currently. Fucking hell, my jigger, bro! Like you can even tell Tom isn't as skinny as he was when he was first on Ozempic, right? Tom's kind of filled out a little bit, but you can tell they're like two different versions of fat. You know, you can tell like Tom's fat from just like eating, right? Maybe indulging in some snacks here and there. But you can tell Bert is like pure gluttony and like booze, more importantly. Can't you tell? Like both guys are kind of, you know, bigger dudes. Tom just doesn't look as bad as Bert. Bert looks horrible. Like Bert looks truly, truly horrible. God damn it, bro. I like how Christina P and Bert's wife are probably around the same age, but Christina P's got more work done, but they looked about the same, don't they? That's one of the things about embracing just growing old, I think, or just maybe getting some light, casual fucking work done. Because I think Christina P gets a lot of Botox and other bits of work, but they look the same age. I wouldn't think Christina P is drastically younger than Bert's wife at all. I think they both look around the same age. Personally, for me, age range at least. But yeah, Bert looks horrendous, man. Fucking hell, Bert Kreischer.
Patreon, where I'm working on a deep dive on Tom's latest show and how he's taking a break from comedy to focus on his Hollywood acting career. Yep, true story. Because on this episode, Tom Segura's forehead was working overtime.
Oh no, really? Am I dumb? Big up Jack Donahue Jr. I think I'm dumb then. I think I'm dumb.
Powerful bunch.
Yo, big up, Younger Vibes. Thank you for the membership. Your queen. Thank you for the membership. Big up, Younger Vibes. What Jack Donahue Jr. say? Okay, so am I dumb? Leanne has got some work done. Leanne has had some bunch of work done. Okay, cool. So maybe I'm naive. Maybe I'm dumb. Maybe I'm dumb. I appreciate that clear up. Does she look like she got work done? Huh. Okay.
Just two straight bald comedians laughing at each other's jokes and huffing each other's farts in between sharing dieting tips and sleep hacks. At this point, these two have gone full fake guru. Clearly, they haven't been paying attention to the comments section because every time Tom goes on JRE these days, he gets absolutely roasted by Rogan's audience. But because Joe and Tom don't read the comments, they have absolutely no idea that everyone is turning on them. Damn, came to the comments to see if Tom had lived down the pause comment, you magnificent bastards just won't let it go and I love it. I'm too poor to watch this episode, I'll wait to the next one. I need to enter in.
I love how the comments have become like a proper section in podcast videos because the content is so bad, right? I love it. Because the content he's reporting on is so terrible, you have to try and piece something together. Just read the comments. The comments are funnier than the actual comedians this guy's trying to report. Like, imagine the comments. Even that comment, even the first clip. I think Tom mentions the comment, and Rogan's dying laughing. The comment that says, "Oh yeah, the documentary on Bert's doctor is going to be fucking legendary." The comments are funnier than the comedians across the board, across the fucking board. And there's no great example of it than fucking the Fire and the Kid subreddit. You know what I mean? That entire subreddit is better than Brian Callen and Brendan's entire existence of podcasting and doing stand-up combined.
Into a higher tax bracket before I watch this. Not the guy who splattered on the floor from trying a layup. Yay, we can listen to them talk about...
Oh my god, not the guy who splattered on the floor going for a layup. Yo, I love it. I love it.
About their diets for 2.5 hours. He not only broke his arm, he broke his funny bone.
Oof.
We unloaded trucks all day, but man, the work these comedy assassins put in, I can't even imagine. Gotta love two multi-millionaires telling everyone to get over it and stop complaining about your shit. I now know how everyone feels about Segura. I feel the same way. I loved when Cat Williams said Joe trying to push 6 comedians that ain't even funny. At least it's not Bert. Poor Bert, he can't stop catching strays, but I'm obviously here for it. Who am I kidding? As you can see though, nobody takes these guys seriously anymore, and the funniest part is they have absolutely no idea how far gone they are. I mean, this episode had everything. Car talk, watch talk, Tom's dietary updates, his workout routines from being on the road. Like, they legitimately spent most of the podcast talking about all the shit they have and how they love being rich because it allows them to pursue their passions, you know, like collecting art and drinking fine wine. Tom filled us in on his new Ferrari and gave us a tutorial on how to manage the heavy rear end of a Porsche 911. Make sure you don't lift off. You've got to commit to the corner, guys. So it was all the usual stuff we've come to expect from two Austin comedy assassins chilling in a lockdown studio under the guard of SEAL Team 6. But stick around because I'm going to come to all the cringy comedy talk towards the end. And don't worry, I'll give you an official cringe warning before we get there. Trust me, you're going to need it. However, as usual, our boy Bert Kreischer came up in conversation. As much as these guys complain that Bert is out of
Yo, big up, grown baby golf. Appreciate. Thank you for becoming a member, bro.
Control and derails every conversation they have to talk about himself.
Is that another recent? Oh yeah, I got to play some Bert videos later. Cool. I got some Bert videos to play. I found some random Bert videos. I think he was doing some sort of like game challenge thing. So remind me, I have to play that later. After as soon as we finish this video, we'll play those Bert videos. Big up, grown baby golf. Appreciate you.
They really do spend a lot of time talking about him. It's not just me. And what started as some light-hearted banter about how strong he is quickly turned into a conversation about how Bert is still alive.
Oh, this
Big up Andy Ward. You can't spell diabolical without spelling Agostino. Boom, boom, boom.
is the thing I wanted to tell you. So some of the Bucks players came out, the offensive linemen. These are absolute beasts. 6'5", 6'6", 330, like just fucking giants. They're gorillas. So we have a beer stein holding contest. So it's
powerful bunch.
Yeah, big up Sardis.
Why would I listen to Tom Segura about diet and exercise? He looks like the bloated corpse of Brody Stevens. No one wants to look like that. Bert is just a lost cause. Good blood work though.
The mad thing is the refusal to acknowledge the Ozempic thing. Because the Tom Segura weight loss thing would have been impressive as well if he didn't hide the fact that he had a personal trainer traveling with him around the world who, I don't know, was maybe his lover or something. I don't know what's going on in their relationship behind the scenes. But the fucking the unwillingness to acknowledge the personal trainer and the Ozempic was fucking crazy. And he still didn't look that great, you know, which is kind of understandable because he's like a middle-aged guy. I get it, you know, whatever. How much work can you do in this type of things? Unless you end up looking at Rogan, which, you know, not everyone wants to look at Rogan, even though he thinks he looks jacked and ripped and shit. So yeah, I get it. But yeah, it's just funny. Big up Salzies.
He beat an all-pro.
He's been that's like
But
come on, man.
But look at these.
Does that make sense?
It
It's
does
like
make sense, but you still
those
go
skinny
like.
guys can throw a baseball a lot faster than these dudes.
It's just crazy to me, though. Like,
Not to me. He's used to holding beers.
yeah,
He's used to holding drinks.
I couldn't do it. I tapped out. Like my arm just gave out, and then
Look at him. He's still smiling.
Oh yeah,
He got nothing wrong. That's insane. He's got incredible genetics. Like if he wanted to be an athlete, he'd be an incredible athlete.
Yeah, I think so. If he was like super.
The funny thing is, as dumb as that sounds, you know, it'd be really funny about that. Bert would actually probably be a better athlete than Brendan if he actually did go into sports. Like, Brendan is that unathletic. If Bert got into athletics, he might be way better than him. Imagine that. Imagine that.
Bert dedicated to it. Yeah.
Yeah, he's just trapped in booze. But it's also made him very rich. So it's like, I don't know. I don't want him to change, but I do. I mean, I want him to be healthy. But like when we first started doing,
Rogan's conflicted because Rogan thinks his life is like the life that everyone wants to live, right? This kind of health obsessed thing he's got with the supplements, with the steroids, with the fucking stem cell things, whatever. He thinks everyone wants to live the way he wants to live. But I think it's just a rich guy thing as well, right? There's kind of like immortality thing, right? I think most people that just run and live a regular life just want to, I don't know, maybe have a couple of holidays a year, maybe take their, you know, wives and fucking husbands or whatever out to fucking dinner and shit, be able to buy their kids gifts on Christmas and birthdays or whatnot. People don't really, I mean, I don't think regular people care about immortality more than fucking rich people do. Or even think about it in the slightest. So he probably thinks everyone wants to live that way. But I think Bert, even though we don't like him, for Rogan, he's like a constant reminder of like what regular people are like. Regular people are like Bert. There's a lot of regular people, if they got rich, they'll just do what Bert did. What Bert, without the comedy. Just kind of indulge and just live this kind of like adult frat boy lifestyle. Which Rogan doesn't understand. Like, why are you doing this yourself? You know, like, but that's what like a regular person would do if they kind of lucked out and had like, you know, decent parents that made good money, and then lucked out in terms of their career, met Rogan and just kind of like coasted through life without really need to do anything. You can kind of just live like Bert, where you just don't really do anything. You just kind of drink yourself silly and, you know, live and exist. And Rogan just can't understand that. It just doesn't make any sense.
in Sober October, it was essentially just because we were worried Bert was going to die.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Well, he's still here.
I mean, the first one was the weight loss thing.
Blood works perfect. Yeah.
Yeah, it's nuts.
I like how casually Joe talks about how he started Sober October to help Bart stop drinking and lose weight, but forgets to mention how he cancelled it because Bert kept annoying the shit out of everyone. Let's just rewind for a second though, because that competition was complete bullshit.
I was gonna say, by the way, I haven't watched the video yet. I was just about to say, just gonna rewind that again because I heard myself. I was like, am I also kind of buying into this fucking podcasting? Like, why are these guys acting like just because they're successful in one thing, that it somehow translates to other things? Like, what evidence do we have that Bert could ever be a professional athlete? What is this good genetics thing about? Because he doesn't look like Wings of Redemption. I guess that's why, right? Because Bert isn't like 500 pounds. People just like, what is his profession like? I know he used to play baseball or something when he was younger or something like that, right? He can swing a baseball. Like, what? Like, what is this evidence that he can be a professional athlete? What is this evidence? I'm just questioning my own fucking conclusions. I'm questioning my own beliefs here because I feel I just rabbited or parroted what they were basically saying. Sorry, I just sat there thinking, hold on, like, huh? What is holding a fucking beer keg or whatever it is, right? Whatever they're holding there with other, what does that have to prove? What does that prove? What does that demonstrate? How does that transfer to professional sports? Why would this like overweight, middle-aged, literal functioning alcoholic be a professional athlete? What gives you that idea? It's one thing if he was a professional athlete once when he was younger, then he retired and got fat and alcoholic, but then he still got that, you know, when he gets on the ball or touches a basketball or throws a ball, you can still see that he's a professional athlete. That's one thing. But come on, let's be real. Bert would never be a professional athlete. That's why he's a stand-up comedian.
This is so typical of Bert. Clearly, he's bending his elbow to hold up the glass while everyone else has a straight arm. How many times has Bert done this where he'll claim he can do something like the splits and then do his own version of it, like half push-ups or something, and then completely ignore the fact that he cheated and then spends the next 6 months bragging about it. Kind of like how Brendan Shaw pretended there was a controversy brewing over how much he could bench and posted multiple videos doing half reps of 225, even though he's clearly strong as fuck and can easily lift it. But after years of enduring Bert's claims that he has perfect blood work, Tom and Joe finally realized how ridiculous he sounds and admitted that somebody's probably lying to him.
We all had dinner together after the UFC fight, and Bert is...
It does go to prove, though, just how destructive the medical industry is in America. That's how the medical industry is, right? In America. Like, think about it. Because Bert does probably have a legit doctor that's telling him he's got perfect blood work. Unless he is just lucky and he has perfect blood work despite looking the way he does. But there's probably a doctor out there who's like, I want to keep this guy as a client. I know if I give him the cold hard truth and I talk to him like that doctor in fucking My 500 Pound Life, right? You know, that kind of famous, like, short, I think he's Middle Eastern dude who's kind of really curt or really, like, rude, or maybe he's Indian. I'm not sure where he's from, actually. Please forgive me. But he's really rude to the fat people in the show and kind of gives them a lot of home truths. He knows if he does that to Bert, Bert's never going to come back. So he has to tell him what he wants to hear, you know? But then probably still give him medication to kind of help. Oh, no, don't worry, you got perfect blood work. But then he still gives him blood pressure medication. That doesn't make no sense, does it? If you got perfect blood work, why are you taking blood pressure medication? So the doctor's saying one thing, but he's doing another thing by giving him medication.
Just throwing back martinis.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I definitely made the right choice.
Yeah.
I definitely made the right choice. Like,
can...
I'm watching him. He's slowly turning into a human grape in front of my eyes. He's red in his face.
He can knock him down, dude. He can really knock him down.
Bro, he found out we were leaving, so he ordered 2 more to down on the way out the door. He just downed 2 more teas. I'll have 2 more.
I'm not gonna lie. As much as Bert is a functioning alcoholic and I hate it, I also hate when you're out with people and they start doing this. They start judging, because he probably was judging Bert with his eyes. Bert just was just oblivious to it because he was drinking too much. I hate people that you go out with them and they start like trying to control how much you're drinking, start to like call you out on something, like, or like try and dumb down your fun and say, bro, are we out drinking or not? Like, are we going to have some fun or not? Like, why are you trying to police the group? Especially when you got a person in the group who's already a bit of a liability anyway. Let them do what they're gonna do. Just pick up the pieces at the end. That's what being a friend is, isn't it? I don't know. I don't understand this. I don't get, like, you know him long enough. This guy ain't gonna change with eyes and glares, you know? I don't know. It's strange. Big up Asada Aziz. No, read the room. Don't be the only. No, I agree. I don't think he was the only drunk guy though. I don't think Bert was the only drunk guy. Let's be true. Let's be real. If they went out for a meal after a UFC event, most likely they were all drinking at the UFC event. Most likely they were drinking at the fucking meal afterwards. Steaks and fucking red wine and shit. Bert just did too much. He wasn't the only guy drinking in the room. Let's be real. He wasn't the only guy drinking in the room. I refuse to believe that. Those comedians didn't go to fucking UFC sober, or they didn't leave there sober. Oh, come on. They definitely were drinking. That's the problem I have. I don't have a problem with people calling you out if you're in a room full of other people that aren't drunk and you're the only one drunk. Fair. But I definitely think everyone else was drinking. He just was drinking too much, and they said something like, I'm sorry, you can't. Just enjoy the fucking pain of it.
Like, just down these martinis on the way out the door. I'm like, this is fucking preposterous.
It's preposterous.
And then I talked to him, and he goes, I got all my blood work done. Perfect.
I saw somebody comment the other day on our podcast. They go, the documentary about Bert's doctor who says blood work is perfect is going to be unbelievable.
I don't think there's a single comedian that's made Rogan laugh at that than a fucking comment. The comments that Rogan doesn't read, the comments that Rogan thinks he's better than, right? The civilians out there who don't get comedy, the regular folks who just don't understand what a comic's mind is like, somehow made Rogan belly laugh with his eyes closed, probably close to crying. No other comedian's done it to him, but a comment. The ones that he doesn't regard, the one he doesn't really rate too much. Interesting, isn't it? Interesting.
Just a complete charlatan.
It's gotta be, dude. It's gotta be.
Dirty lab coat with a mouse in his pocket. Like some
It's
crazy
gonna
guy.
Complete lunatic who's like, you're great.
Oh my God, that's
So
so
funny.
funny.
Bert would have been absolutely fuming when he saw that clip from Tom's appearance on JRE. You just know he got off the couch and started pacing around the house, yelling at everyone, kicking the dog, looking for the paperwork that shows he's got perfect blood work so he can bring it up for the 100th time on Two Bears. The irony is Bert goes to Rogan's buddy's clinic called Ways to Well for all of his health and wellness needs. So I don't know what Joe's laughing about. He's the one who sends all his friends down there and promotes it on his podcast all the time. And how many times have we heard Bert list all the medication he's on? The whole idea that he's in perfect health while taking blood pressure, cholesterol, and diabetes medications, as well as hormone therapy and stem cell injections, is just crazy to me. Just to prove my point that Bert's full of shit, on this week.
Yo, big up. Yeah, big up personalities. Proud to say I've never cried on camera as a man. I think you should never do that as a man, personally. I think you should never ever do that. And if you do, I instantly respect you less. I instantly respect you if you cry on camera. I instantly think less of you as a man. Instantly. I can't even look at you the same way. I would go as far as saying that, but I'm a bit extreme as well, because I think in my life, this is hand on heart, honestly, which probably explains a lot about my temperament and probably the issues that I may or may not have undiagnosed. I honestly think I've probably cried 5 times in my entire life. Hand on heart, 5 times. 5. Kind of wild. But then it also means later in life, when something tragic happens, I'm probably going to have the craziest breakdown. So I'm not trying to pat myself on the back. I know it's coming. Something mad's gonna happen. I'll get like a dog, or something, and it will die, and then I'll be in a state. I'm sure. But I think I've cried 5 times in my life. 5 times, but I'm not carrying on. Like, honestly, please, if you're a man, stand up.
Week's episode of Two Bears, One Cave, Bert threw a tantrum at the nurse because he refused to have his blood pressure taken in front of a live audience before getting an IV.
Hey, can I get an IV? Oh my God, look at how quick she comes.
Holy
Yo, big up Young Old Vibes. Did your parents beat you when you cried? When you cried? Yep, they beat you more when you cried. Not when they beat you when you cried. You got beat more the more you cried. Big up African parents. Lovely upbringing. Big up mom and dad. Love you loads.
Holy shit. Hey, can I get a up? Why don't we? Oh, no. You keep just the IV from you, please. And it's just amazing. And I got to keep it going for all the Bucks that showed up. The Bucks came out.
God almighty. Look at his face. Obviously, he's out in the sun as well, but the color of his face matches his hat. He's turning beetroot burgundy. Beetroot red, burgundy red. Look at that. His face literally matches his hat. God almighty.
But let's break down that do not take my blood pressure. Just give me.
Yeah, big up Booth McGee. Dogs dying is the worst. Big up JU for life. Lost mine last year. RIP to your dog, man. Like, I think that's one of the reasons why I don't want to have a dog or a cat. I know I'm that kind of guy because I'm so fucking tightly wound up about emotions like that in general. I know if I was to get a dog or a cat and that dog or cat passed away, like I know me, because I'm just, you know what I mean? Like, it'd be bad. Like, I'm not, I mean, like I'll be in mourning for a while, and I've seen people who like pets, who are really into, who have pets since they're young, who've had loads of pets since they're young, cry, get really sad about that sort of shit. So I don't even try and go down that way, because I know if I'll get instantly attached, and I'll just be like, yeah, well, like anybody does with a pet, innit? But yeah, you know how it is. RIP to all the pet owners out there, or all the pets for pet owners, whatever. You can tell I haven't had a pet before I speak.
Me a goddamn IV. I do not want that where just give me the IV. Or don't, but do not take my blood pressure.
How bad would your blood pressure be?
I do not take my blood pressure. Listen, I normally get 2 bags. I'll be fine with 1 bag. Just do not take my blood pressure. What's his blood pressure right now?
So you didn't want to take the blood pressure. Okay, see? Okay, so I think, Tom, what he's saying is right, because what was I saying? I'm talking too fast here. I think what Tom was saying was maybe wrong. Maybe the doctor that Bert says keeps telling him his blood work is perfect doesn't exist and he's lying. Maybe the truth is nobody tells him his blood work is good. That's why he doesn't want to do the blood work live on camera like this. You know, he's good to do IVs, but he doesn't want to do blood work. He doesn't want to take his blood pressure or anything. He doesn't want anybody getting in his business and calling him out for how unhealthy he is. So he just kind of keeps that to himself. So maybe that's what we're seeing here.
Is still thinking? Or does it register he's dead inside?
What are you talking about?
You're so frustrating. Your blood pressure is always perfect.
Well, it might not be. I don't know. What?
140 over 70?
Yeah.
It's not great. If you're going to take my blood pressure, I don't need an IV.
God, stop.
No, I'm not getting one.
Why?
No, I'm not. There's 7,000 people here. I'm not getting my blood pressure
and
taken.
Guess what? All 7,000 want you to get your blood pressure.
Nope.
Stop.
Nope. Game's over. I'm not playing. Game's over. Nope. It's my arm, and I hold him tight. Nori, get up here. Nori, come here. Nori's a black man. You don't go to the doctor. Come here.
Yeah, Bert's clearly not in good health. If he's taking blood pressure meds to keep it down,
and he literally put his arms in as well. He was like panicking. I'm not doing this because he knows the videos on YouTube. He knows the videos are going to overdrive. If he was on camera with what his actual blood pressure is, the videos are going to overdrive. He knows. The comments will not leave him alone after that. He'd be self-conscious about that shit.
And he's still too afraid to do a reading, then you know something's not right. But by far the best part of that episode was when Jason Kelce called him out for bagging people who get red faces from drinking. This episode of Two Bears was an absolute train wreck, but seeing Bart get roasted for being a hypocrite made it all worth it.
What race is the best drinkers? White
Irish
or Latinos?
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Latinos in the building?
Wow. No offense. No offense. Just observation. Jason Kelce, right? That's his name. Just Jason Kelce, whatever his name is. Pardon me. And this guy, these are not small guys. Right? And also, Tom is not a small guy. But look how small these guys look compared to Bert. And then also look at how small Nori, who's also a fat guy, looks compared to Bert on camera. So imagine what these guys look like in person. Somehow Bert looks fucking massive compared to those guys. Maybe it's the angle, I don't know, but it's like, wow, Bert looks fatter than Nori, and Nori's not a slim dude. He's also somebody that likes to indulge in drinking shit on his show, Drink Champs. But yeah, Bert still looks bigger. Bert must be, and I think Jason just look at his stomach as well here as well. Like, Jesus Christ, that could have been me if I didn't play fucking football.
Or Latinos?
Look at that. Look at that. God damn.
Oh.
Latinos in the building?
Here's the thing. Latinos are the most fun. Whites are the most terrifying. So it's kind of what kind of vibe you want to go for.
Let's eliminate who are the worst drinkers.
It's
and
Asians.
That's the Asians.
Yeah, it's Asians.
Are the worst. They get red. They're allergic to alcohol.
They get red. Look at, I love somebody called him out. They get red. Look at your fucking face. Imagine your hat.
Yeah, it's Asians.
Are the worst. They get red. They're allergic to alcohol. Native Americans, Asians.
You say this is the reddest face I've ever seen.
And y'all was in unison. You know this?
Bert's got some Indo-European, half Asian blood going on there.
This is a fact, dude.
You did get red.
And first of all, thank you for bringing.
I don't think Bert's taking that too well. I'm not gonna lie. The camera's not panning onto him, but I don't think Bert is laughing the way he probably wants to laugh. That's hurting his feelings because he wants to, like, you know, suck up to these athletes. He wants to be their friends. He wants us to think that he's one of them, you know, athletic. You just look at like, what? Huh? You're mocking the Asians and you look like that. You're mocking the Asians and their supposed intolerance to alcohol and you look the way you do.
Bringing this up.
Wow, I'm surprised Bert sat there and took that like a champ. I guess he really didn't have a choice. Seeing Tom Segura squashed up against the end of that couch next to Jason Kelce really put things into perspective. He needs to go and kill Tony ASAP to put Hinchcliffe back in his clown box. But let's get back to Joe and Tom because the cringe was thick in this one. It was only a matter of time before Joe realized that he's not as healthy as he thinks he is.
Yo, big up Son Aziz. Why is not reading it? Bert has this weird build where his arms are short and he sits on the side boob fat, so it gives a weird chicken look to him. No, let's read that again. Bert has this weird build where his arms are short and sit on his side boob fat. So it gives this weird chicken wing look to them. If he gets larger, he'll go full rotisserie chicken. That's actually a good point. He does have quite a weird build, isn't it? Like, he kind of, yeah, you're right. Kind of like stands, yeah, it's a bit like, it's a weird, like, yeah, right. It's kind of like a weird build. Plus the stomach, it's all over the place. Yeah, that might explain it. And how he's sitting as well with his legs crossed and shit and all lumpy dumpy.
He is. And don't get me wrong, I'm not bagging these guys for being unhealthy. It's the hypocrisy of their constant rambling about their diets and...
Yeah, big up Brian. I just saw your message as well in the stream chat. Yo, that's incredibly on point. If Bert, I'm assuming, was healthy, he wouldn't be taking those medications, or he wouldn't need them. Exactly. If his blood work was so good, you wouldn't be on medication in general. So your blood work isn't good. Even if the doctor is telling you it is, which I guess it's in the best interest of that doctor because he's getting paid every visit that Bert does. But yeah.
How hard they train, the cold plunges and saunas, all the sacrifices they make, while they drink every day and smoke cigars all the time, while popping nicotine pouches, and God knows what else they put into their mouths. At least Rogan finally realized it was all getting out of control. Well, at least for a couple of days.
What is that, Rogue?
Yeah.
I kind of quit those, but I'll have one.
I fucking love these.
I thought I was going to have a hard time. I quit them over the weekend.
Really?
I did nothing. I was like, this is easy. I think I'm lucky. Yeah. I don't think I get physically addicted to stuff that way.
That's great.
Yeah, it was super easy.
I feel like I have some of that where I'm not that.
It's super easy. Yeah, it is easy to get to probably break addiction when you go with the money. I love it. Just do it. You can do it too. Just pull yourself up by your bootstraps, regular person who's struggling to keep things, whatever, going. Just do it. It's not that hard. Just do it. Just do it.
Physically addicted to.
But dude, I have friends that have like anything gets them. Like I had a guy who came over here to do a podcast and he saw that someone had sent us some kratom stuff that I wound up throwing out. I was like, I don't want like this anyway.
Yeah.
And he's like, don't take that. I can't get off of it. Get that kratom away from me.
I know someone
has a real problem with it. I'm like, really?
Yeah, people get physically addicted. Like I didn't really realize that was a thing, but
I think it's just different genetics.
It totally is.
Like look at Bert. A normal person who drinks as much as him would be dead.
Yeah.
You'd have like real liver problems, and he doesn't have any problems.
He's in the gym and.
I don't know if that's like a thing to brag about though, or to be proud of. Maybe it's all how would you actually explain that? Would be probably that alcohol unfortunately kills you way slower than other things, isn't it? Most likely. And Bert also probably benefits from the fact that he doesn't drive a lot by himself. Like all that sort of stuff helps, isn't it? When you're rich as a king, you fly around everywhere, private jets, you probably get driven a bunch of places. So you're not going to be behind the wheel drunk most of the time, you'd imagine. You're also not working a regular job, so your brain isn't really that isn't preoccupied about those type of things. You're not working in a stressful environment like that either, which is not causing you to kind of go to the drink more. You're kind of drinking more out of enjoyment, just like depression or whatever necessity, that type of thing. Self-indulgence, whatever it may be. So all that, that might be the thing. But I'd imagine just more so the fact of like alcohol just takes longer to kill you than anything else. There's probably a lot of people out there that have jobs that are also alcoholics like that, because I can think of myself and working in certain places Like, I can think now, day to day, I don't drink as much as I did when I was working in a corporate job or working in an office. In an office, I think some of you guys can say the truth or can admit this too, or co-sign this. Like, I think in most offices I worked in, from Wednesday, people start getting on it in terms of beers. From Wednesday, people are like, oh, fucking hell. Do you want to go out for a drink? Do you want to go out for a drink? Everyone's like kind of in that mood. Then God forbid it gets to fucking Friday. Then you guys get really fucking crazy. So in normal working environments, there are people who are drinking, Monday to Friday, sometimes with their lunch every time. Then they have some drinks at home to kind of, decompress. So there's a lot of people out there that are drinking a lot every day functionally, So I don't think the Bert thing is that crazy. I don't think he's that crazy of a drinker, just maybe compared to those guys. But I think there's regular people that do that. I don't think it's all something to brag about,
In the morning. It's crazy.
It's nuts.
I hate to break it to you guys, but Bert definitely has some shit going on that he either doesn't know about or that he's clearly hiding from.
Yeah, I think big up Salaziz, he's overweight, he has diabetic, blood pressure and sleep apnea. Exactly. I think they're just saying that, I guess in their defense, they're like, oh, if he's not dead, then it's better. No, it's better. If he's not dead and he's alive, then that's a great thing. But I don't think that's still like a life worth living. Like, Bert's 50 something and he has to sleep on a sleep apnea machine or something. It's like, come on, bro. Like, you're only 50, you're only, or whatever, 40, whatever he is. It's just like, yeah, I don't know. Look at the crowd though. They look happy to be there. And there's also something very irresponsible about promoting running, like being into like 5Ks and all that sort of stuff, but also promoting drinking. I don't know about that. The beer mile thing, I think, is a kind of a fun concept, but this idea, this I don't know. Or am I the only person that thinks that? Also, this is hella tacky as well, by the way. This ticket advertisement for Bert Kreischer permission to party for, like, come on, man. Come on now. Come on.
From everyone, because he'll be forced to quit drinking for good if it comes out. But do you guys...
Yeah. Big up Josie. Look at him. He's affecting his liver, which is affecting his heart. He's red and bloated always, and that's not good. Yeah, like I said, I guess in their defense, they're just saying because he's not dead, it's a good, like, he's winning, I guess, which is a weird way to kind of put those type of things in it. He's not dead, so it's a win. It's like, I guess, if living like that is a win, I guess.
I remember when Brendan Schaub used to promote Kratom on his podcast, and then when I exposed him for illegally promoting an addictive product, he all of a sudden stopped promoting it and started telling everyone how bad it is for you. It was around the same time Philip Morris International tried to silence me for uncovering the Zinspiracy. Man, that takes me back. What a bunch of fucking redacts. We're heading deep into cringe territory now though, guys, so if you're new here, this is going to test your appetite for A-grade podcast slop. It's a dish I serve to my regulars to keep them fit and strong. Kind of like an ice bath, but for us, pause. After talking about Bert's genetic superiority and his ability to withstand toxins unlike any human in history, Joe and Tom unbuckled their belts and unzipped their pants so they could flop out their privilege and let it dangle for everyone to see. It was only a matter of time before Tom descended into his figure it the fuck out talk that we've become all too familiar with. These guys are so far gone and detached from reality that they don't realize how ridiculous they sound. They've basically become NPC millionaires who speak in empty platitudes and forgot what it's like out here in the real world. As usual, though, it gets worse. Much, much worse.
So it's like, you just got to deal with the cards you dealt. Like, why don't I have 4 aces? Well, you don't. So what are you going to do?
Yeah.
You going to just sit here and complain about everything or what?
You got
spoken like a true rich man.
to figure it out. Yeah.
Figure it out, bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah, figure it out.
Yeah. There's really not enough of
There's
that.
not.
Because you really, it's like, you don't gain anything by doing the, like, how come I don't get this? It's like, how come I'm not 6'6"? I don't know. I'm not.
Just
right? You're just
deal
not.
with it.
Yeah, you got to just deal with it.
You remember that documentary?
I like how they're equating the 6'6" thing with all the money in the world. Like, I love it. When I think most people aren't they bemoaning about the 6'6" thing? I think most people are just bemoaning the fact that they're not able to just keep the lights on in their house. They're not able to fucking eat what they want. They're not able to go where they want, you know? They're not able to buy themselves some new clothes or whatever else it may be. I don't think they are that concerned about not being 6'6", because these guys aren't 6'6", right? Rogan's like barely 5 foot and he talks with a big chest. So I love that they have no concept, no idea why some people, especially comedians actually, could be living in a world where they're bemoaning the fact that they don't have Netflix specials when these super, super unfunny comedians have like many Netflix specials, you know? Many Netflix specials, and they're probably going to get their contracts renewed again and again and again, despite their comedy being absolutely crazy. But I don't know. I guess there's no balance in it. I guess that it's hard to be balanced and nuanced on this conversation and this type of shit. Because when they made it to now, it's so far away, so maybe you just forget about where you came from. Maybe you forget it, you forget the context, you forget the time, you just forget some details, and you just kind of think about the here and now. But it's just, and it's a hard conversation to even say, because you know the need to have effort and to put, you know, hard work, all that sort of stuff is important in a lot of things. People don't really want to have that conversation to hear that, because there's a lot of people out there in the world who have kind of got a lot out of life without really being hardworking. So when you do the whole hard work thing, it's like, there's a lot of people out there that also don't work hard but get a lot out of life, you know? So it's like, how important is it really? You know, some people can get away with it, some people can't. Those of us that can't get away with it try and still don't get anywhere. So it's like, because there's plenty of people out there that are working hard who can't figure it out. Plenty. I'd imagine there's plenty of people who are working 2 jobs, doing whatever they can, but still can't figure it out. So what about those people, you know? But just keeping the stand-up comedy world, like there's probably people out there that probably have 40 years of experience in stand-up and can't get a fucking, you know, maybe their stand-up special on fucking YouTube doesn't get 10,000 views, let alone get a fucking special on fucking Netflix, you know? Strange conversation to have. Who knows?
The Secret, that stupid documentary.
Oh yeah.
Like, all you have to do is like think about things and you can make them happen.
Yeah.
Not really. That's bullshit. But it's a part of it. It's a part of making things happen. There's physical limitations to the human frame. There's physical limitations for your particular human frame.
Yeah.
You know, you can't get taller. You can't. You can lose weight, but you can't really do much other than that.
Yeah.
But there's a bunch of people that just think about their problems all the time.
It's an obsession, and what it does is it carries you through time without having to deal with the problem, because you just talk about the problem.
Right.
That's a big one.
Do you know how many people who live in Guatemala in a dirt floored shack would love your problems?
Yeah.
You know, like your problems are not that big a problem if you're living in America.
Well, you
have your health.
You need that perspective change from people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's right, guys. If you're struggling to pay your rent and you have to choose between eating meat or heating your apartment in the winter, you just need to change your perspective. Look at the bright side. At least you're not living in abject poverty in a third world country. Stop being so fucking ungrateful. Seriously, you people. But who knew that Joe Rogan could do such an accurate impression of himself? We've seen him bomb with his Obama impression, and that time he tried to switch between a New York Jew and a mafia boss. Man, that was cringe. But when it comes to imitating himself, he gets it absolutely spot on.
Yeah.
Thank God that's not how we make a living.
Thank God. Dude, if the UFC was around when I was competing, I 100% would have done it. And then imagine how dumb I would be now at 57 years old. Oh, I'd be a mess. Oh, hey, you look good. You losing weight? He goes, what are you doing? He goes, you dieting? Good. You know, my brain would be like a 4-cylinder.
Is that what dumb people sound like to Rogan? Like, what? That's his impression of a dumb person. Okay.
Engine like all f***ed up. I think I got the right amount of brain damage.
Yeah, you've said that to me before.
I think so. I think there's just a certain amount that you get that makes you just a little reckless.
Yeah,
a little crazy.
Just a touch.
Yeah, just a touch.
Yeah.
I just got
Of course you'd say that, innit? Of course Rogan would say that. He wouldn't say he got the brain damage that makes him a bit redacted and, maybe more leaning into conspiracy theories and being wedded to his ideas and shit. No, he got the right amount of fucking brain damage that made him wild and wild. What do you even say that's wild? Like, what is this wild shit? Where is this wild guy? Is the wild guy in the room right now?
Just a touch of brain damage that allows me to be. I enjoy risks.
Yeah,
like I like them. They're fun.
Me too.
Two multi-millionaires sitting.
Man with all the money in the world enjoys taking risks. More news at 10.
In their ivory tower with a full security detail, completely cut off from the real world, telling us how much they love taking risks. You seriously could not make this shit up. Just remember, by the time Rogan kicks the bucket, he more than likely will be a billionaire. And that's not a coincidence. It's not because of luck or circumstance, it's just because of his mindset. You see, being rich is a state of mind. You're either born with it or you're not. You're either a player or a spectator. And if you're anything like Tom and Joe, you didn't have a choice. You were destined to be your own boss.
Yes.
You know what's funny? I've seen some videos, right? I think it's the guy. I've seen some videos. Big up Hard Knocks TV. I think it's like Hard Knocks Lifestyle, Hard Knocks whatever. Some guy who goes to like rich areas and randomly will interview people getting out of their cars. Most of the times it's like not scripted, but it's like, they kind of agree to it beforehand. But sometimes you interview people right on the spot. And I swear to God, when he interviews those guys who are like older dudes who are like shopping in Beverly Hills and shit, getting out of their Lambos or whatnot, I swear most of those guys, I've seen clips of them where they mention luck more than these podcast comedians. Those guys will say, "Yep, I made a lot of money, lost a lot of money, but I got lucky. Fortunate to have parents that kind of bankrolled me. Got this investment, this timing, this, that, and the other, but just kept going." Most of those guys will say that, right? But just kept going, kept determined. Didn't let myself kind of get, be discouraged because one business went down. But obviously was fortunate because I had friends I can, lean on. I had fucking parents that could help me, get back on my feet, all this sort of stuff. I swear I've heard those guys mention that more than comedians do. These rich comedians won't ever mention that. But actual like businessmen who like have made money in stocks and shit and property and all that sort of stuff will actually admit, yeah, man, luck, fortune, all this sort of stuff, timing played a big fucking role in my success. Definitely. So if I say to people out there, give them advice, hey, don't be too hard on yourself sometimes, because sometimes it's just timing, but just keep going type of thing. These guys is like, nah, it's just hard work, man. I just really, really worked hard. It's like, really, brother? Really though? Is that all it was? Just hard work?
I think if you take this career path, you enjoy risk.
Clearly.
Yeah.
Yeah. But also you don't have any choices.
Yeah.
Like my thought was when I was first starting, I was like, I can't work. I can't.
I just think I would get bored of hearing, because I know exactly what he's going to say. I at some point in my life, and even now, with doing streams and pods, from here and whenever I do them, just listen to myself. I get bored of listening to myself. Like, and I'm a nobody. I get bored of repeating the same things, just to hear myself speak. It's really impressive how Rogan has no ability. But I think that is also maybe a part of why he's successful. Not ever getting bored of the sound of your own voice. Like being impressed by the things that you say all the time. Like, he can't wait to talk about this stuff again. Like, oh my God, working. What's he doing? That roofing thing. He's going to mention being a security guard and shit. It's like, for one summer, he did construction and he was a fucking security guard. That's like, brother, like, let's move the fucking... Let's just change the fucking record. Like, come on. It's just like, God damn it.
Do it, but I know I can do things, but I can't show up and do a job all day for the rest of my life. I don't have that in me. I'm allergic to it. The problem is, like, I developed not having people tell me.
Must be nice, isn't it? Must be nice. A lot of us are allergic to working, but we just work because we have to, innit? Like, I don't know. I love that. I love that. That's one of my best things I love about self-help guru guys. This idea that everyone can be an entrepreneur. I love that side of things. That's the one thing I love. Like, everyone has like a side hustle. It's like, does everyone have a side hustle? Does everyone even want to have a side hustle? Does everyone want to be their own boss? I don't think so. I don't think you've actually everyone that says that, I don't think has actually worked at a workplace. There's plenty of people who work in places, whether it's fucking a restaurant, a fucking office, a clothing store, who actually like what they're doing.
Powerful bunch.
But these guys don't get it.
These podcasters sounding like rappers from the hood Lamau. Can't work me no 9 to 5. Rogan sounding like Lil Baby.
Exactly. Fast money all the way. I can't be driving no fucking shit thing. Or those rappers that say, yeah, I told myself when I get my first car will be a Ferrari. It's like, okay, cool. Congratulations. Your first car's a Ferrari. Great flex, bro. Some of us have to get a fucking Prius just to get to and from work. Or some 20-year-old car just to get from, you know what I mean? It's just needs must. We don't have the luxury to trap and then wait until we get paid and to buy the first car to flex on the gram. But yeah, I love how these guys always talk about this sort of shit. It's fucking, I just know the subject matter off by heart, you know?
What to do. So I can't listen.
I think every comic has that thing too. Where you're like, I can't have a boss. I think if I hadn't done this, I definitely think I would have started my own business of some kind. You know what I mean? I've been an entrepreneur of some kind.
Yeah, you would have had to.
Yeah.
But that's, how many people don't?
Now we're at the age too where you can look back on 25 years of people
Oh my God.
Who are like miserable.
Oh my God. People that are in hell.
Yeah, in hell.
In hell. Yeah.
Meanwhile, we're
killing it.
Holy shit, these guys are so far gone, it's almost unbelievable. Do they not realize that they're
that little killing it was so cringe and like, I don't know. Killing it. Come on, Rogan. Have some like self-respect restraint a little bit. It's like, God damn.
Entire fucking audience work for a living. They're sitting there bragging about their watches, cars, fancy diets, and expensive health routines, all off the back of their fans. And in the next breath, they shit on people who work for a living. Not all people who work for a living are miserable. I mean, fuck. Exactly. What are we doing here, B? That's some crazy delusion right there. I seriously thought Tom learned his lesson after his airport meltdown, but his little publicity tour over the last 18 months was clearly all just an act. It's like he gets empowered by being in Rogan's presence and reveals his true character. But all that bullshit aside, an episode of JRE with Tom Segura wouldn't be complete without some comedy brain talk. This is the real cringe in my opinion. This is the art of stand-up comedy brought to you by Tom and Joe.
I'll still do like what I do, which is like go into your club or book some club weekends, which are kind of like low, stress kind of things where you go like, hey, I'm just going to go work out. Yeah. So I'll try to keep the muscle fresh, but I won't book like a tour.
It's good to take breaks.
It is, right?
I'll tell you that. I took a big sort of a break. I've just been doing the club. It's great having no pressure. So, like, I just talk about what I want to talk about, and I write about what I want to write about instead of going, I got to put an hour together because I have a tour in 3 months.
Right.
Like, I have to make sure this hour's tight. I have to...
You just kind of take your time.
I can't wait to see what this material sounds like, by the way. Just keep this in mind. Keep what Rogan's saying about what he's working on now in mind for when his next Netflix special comes out. I know it's going to be a long time, until it does. Maybe another 2 years or whatever. But just keep in mind how he's talking about his material right now, and then remember it remember what he said now when you watch his new material. You're gonna be like surprised. It's gonna be nothing like because the way he talks about his stand up is very different to what you hear because his stand up is garbaggio, but the way he talks about it is completely different.
Time with it,
As I've gotten older, I've thought much more about stand up, and there's a lot of stand-up is kind of like unspoken. I think a lot of it is hypnosis.
Really?
Yeah, there's a weird thing going on.
Dude, I also have this thing recently, because I'm on tour right now. I realized that, like, man, it's funny how I could be like tired, and being tired, I go on stage in a different mindset. And all of a sudden, I'm like, wow, that was a way better set. Like, I had the right amount of tired. Not tired where I can't think.
But more relaxed.
More, yeah.
Bro, what happened to just be
The mind of a stand-up comedian, man. The mind of a stand-up comedian, bro. I was like I did this thing where I think regular working people do it where I was tired. I didn't want to do the work. I wasn't really into it that day, but I just did it anyway, right? And it was actually quite good. It's like, okay. Some of us working people do it every single day, you know? So us working people hate going to work every day and you just turn up. You just do your work, you know? You don't, but you don't get a pat on the back. You don't get a chance to fucking suck yourself off. You know what I mean? It just is what it is. But I love how, I think he's going to mention it. There isn't really a mention of being funny in these conversations. It's always about the process and about the methodology, right? That goes into this sort of stuff, the working practice and stuff. But there's very little comments, very little information being given out about their desire to be funny, to put on a show for the fans. Like, I want to really surprise the fans. I want to really work. I'm working on this really fun. I'm just trying to make the funniest shit I can make. Trying to talk about the funniest topics I can talk about, or talk about the most unfunniest things, but try and make them funny. I'm trying to challenge myself to push to be. You don't hear people say that. These comedians, you don't hear them mention I'm trying to be funny as much as you hear them talk about how much time they spent writing. And then you see the stuff and you're like, I thought you said you were doing sets and reps. Is this what we're looking at?
being fucking funny? Now we've got Tom telling us that he's got to reach the optimal amount of tiredness to hit the perfect set. But after hearing Joe's hypnosis take, his stand-up makes more sense to me now.
That's diabolical, isn't it? That is diabolical. That pose, that fucking pose is diabolical, isn't it, really? Like, there's not, you know that meme that people say about, this so-and-so artist or band has no music in their catalog that would warrant this type of response or this type of action. I think same thing goes for Rogan. There's not a single joke in Rogan's arsenal of jokes that should ever elicit this type of a stance, response, or kind of action. You know, nothing. Like nothing.
He's humping the stool to hypnotize us into a state of euphoria where we're completely under his control. That's why whenever you watch his comedy specials, you're never laughing, but the live audience is. That's because when he scrunches his face up and yells at the top of his voice, he's hypnotizing them. That's the level of comedy genius we're talking about here. Straight up assassins. And speaking of assassins, if you want to see my detailed breakdown...
Big up Podcast Cringe, absolute legend.